Hello my lovelies, it's Trina. Welcome back to my channel. I am a bag and frag hag. I talk about bags and more fragrances, and to be honest, in the future it's going to be more about fragrances on this channel. But I have a dye project that's going on. I'm currently drying the first round of my Louis Vuitton Reed bag, and I'll check to the previous video if you want to see how that will have turned out. But I figure since I've got all my dyes out and about on the table, I might as well go ahead and do at least a first coat of this bag. This is a Gianni Chiarini sort of messenger Chanel-esque sort of bag that I absolutely adore, but I can't stand this color. It's like this putty green, greenish beige, and I just don't like it. So we're gonna dye it black. I know black is boring, guys, but I like black. Just doesn't show the stains. And although this one's in pretty good condition, it doesn't really have any staining. It does have wear and tear, like dirtiness to it. So I'm just gonna attack it. And I'm gonna start today with just doing the strap. The strap is too short anyway. I'm probably not gonna wear it with this bag. I have another one that I bought that I'll be using for this. And this one here is a dark brown and it's in great condition. So I think we'll probably keep that as it is. So I'll remove the straps and dye them. And then we'll get into potentially a first coat of this guy. And I hope it turns out well because I really like this bag and want to use it. Okay, and what I'll be using for this is no acetone because this is not patent leather, just a regular black dye, not paint, but dye. And I'm using what's the product I'm using? Fibings, all of them by Fibings today. So this is the top coat, Resolene. This will be used last, 1 or 2 coats of this, and it will give it a very nice shine and also protect the bag. And then I'm gonna give 2 coats of regular black, sort of a matte colored dye. You can use Angelus or Fibings or any other reputable leather dye. You don't want paint because that's surface. Dye is what's going to penetrate, and the 2 companies I recommend based on my experience are Fibings and Angelus. Angelus? Yeah, Angelus is in like the angels. Fibings, F-I-E-B-I-N-G-S. So there you go. And you can get those on Amazon if you live in North America. However, for me based in Japan, it's really hard to get them. I go through Ubuy, and they're not too expensive, but the shipping kills. I can get local products here, but I can't attest to how good they are. So I'm sticking with what I know. And I'm just using some cheap paint brushes, and I'm gonna be using the swab that came with the dye too, because it covers a lot of area fast and it doesn't need to be in strokes, so it's all good. All right, let's get started with this project.
I've been going nowhere lately. It's time to start all over and go for it. 'Cause they don't even know me yet. But that's something I don't regret. Every night I close my eyes and see only lavender dreams, baby. What can I do when a million things are running through? Million things I can't undo. I just sleepwalk, I just sleep talk. That's all I got. What can I say with a million things I can't erase? Million people.
First, I realized that, look, I can undo this part and then get really properly into the base. So let me do that. I had to use 3 tools to get it done, but it's done.
Don't wanna wake up
Pretty interesting to see what this bag is made of. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a layer of quilted foam between the two pieces of leather here, and that makes sense. It's how they keep the soft and spongy quilty effect of the bag. But anyway, I'm just doing this so that I don't have to paint the metal. It'll be easier for me to do the bag after when I put this back on. So let me just continue with this, painting the flap part here. And for this particular bag, I didn't go in with a leather conditioner or anything, basically because I'm not too fussed about it. I think you guys know how little I paid for this bag, so based on how fantastically I think my other dye projects have turned out, maybe a little less care, I can get the same results, you know? I mean, that doesn't sound very positive. Sounds like I'm lazy, but yeah, I kind of am. I have other things I want to do.
I just sleep talk, don't wanna wake up.
So I didn't put any conditioner on this bag before I did it, so chances are this dyeing process is really gonna weaken the bag. You know, dyeing or painting leather basically chemically strips it, you know, so I'm expecting that this might cause more dryness after, but I'm not too worried about it because I didn't spend a lot of money on this bag, just a few hundred yen really. So yeah, this is much faster, and this is not a bag I'm probably going to keep forever or pass on to a family member or anything like that. It's just a bag I'm dyeing because, quite simply, I know that I will use it more if it's black, because that's how I roll. So I'm going to finish painting a bit more of that. There's nothing fancy to see here. I'm just going through with the swab and covering all the bits and pieces, and after I'll go through on the seams, and I'll keep you posted a bit later. Okay, so I think I'm going to take off these buckles here. Gets in the way of things, I'm sure. If I can take them off. Maybe I can't take them off so easily as I thought. Okay, maybe I'll just leave them on. Okay, so we're almost done the first coat on this bag already. I just need to do the sides and the end of the flap, and then maybe a little, yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to work on the inside today. We'll see. I don't even think I'll need a second coat on this. I don't want to, I mean, it's put on pretty thick and it's absorbing a lot, so I'll just probably need to go back and go over the crevices and the little places that the dye missed, because that always happens. Even if you're being really meticulous, there's always a spot to be missed, you know? Especially someone who's as blind as bad as I am. I'm sure there's plenty of spaces. Okay, so you can't really see what I'm doing on the side here, but suffice it to say, it'll be the same type of situation. But there's some crinkling around here that I'll have to be careful of, but I'm going to shut off the camera for a bit. So I'm just doing the details of the inside of the bag now. Well, not the details, but just the general, going over the threads and as close as I can get to the edge without having to go in for a finer brush for detail. I'm going to do that later. I'm also probably going to do the edges on the inside here later because I'm going to want to work with a bag and flip it inside out and whatnot, and I don't want to do that while this bag is still damp. So I'm just going to finish off the inside here. I don't know if I'll do this or not yet, the tab, but we'll see. And then we'll let this guy rest as well. So very productive. A whole first coat is complete, and not only that, but I think it will only need one coat because this paint is just absorbing so fully into the leather that I just have to go over again and make sure I didn't miss any pieces, and I think that'll be it. And to be honest, because I'm painting over a lot, I essentially am doing 2 coats, I think. And this inside part here, I'm not using the swabber, the dab stick. I'm just using the actual paintbrush because I want a little bit more precision, because I don't want to spill any paint onto the inside lining or on the other. I have a bag or bag organizer right now on this, so I don't want to get any paint onto that. Not that the bag is that expensive or anything, but you know. So there we go. I think the hardest part is to get all the stitching. I want the stitching to be black. I don't want any yellow or beige threads showing through. And it can be tricky to get all those little bits and pieces, all those different parts of the thread colored. I mean, if they just end up gray, that's fine, but I don't want any bright, tacky white colors coming through, you know? Unless it's deliberate, unless it's a deliberate look, and that is not the case with this bag. Overall, it's much easier to do this project than the patent leather project that I did before. I'm only on phase 2 of that. You'll know before I do about how that turns out, because I haven't done a second coat on that yet. Okay, so that is it. That's what I'm going to show you today. It is the next day, my friends, and I have finished all coats of the dye on the bag. I've even gone in to the zipper and did the zipper pull and everything. And I didn't do the inside. The raw edge is still there. And I've got my bag and I'm not going to do the interior lining either, because this bag is just for me, and I don't think I need to do that. And as you can see here, some of the dye has already come through in certain parts, and I did fudge up a little bit over here as well. That's to be expected. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. The leaks are not, you know, in my face. Certainly the outside looks okay. So I finished about, I guess, a total of 2 coats as expected. And a little bit more detail inside. And then I went ahead last night and I did some Resolene on this bag here. So now I can touch this part. It's pretty much done, but I think I will do at least 2 coats of Resolene on this. Now, since this is already done, I might go in with another coat, but I think I'm going to go ahead now and put back the buckle on this bag. Let's do that first. Of course, it's not a buckle, it's a closing mechanism, isn't it? You know what I mean. Okay, I've done 2. Let's do 2 more. Somehow it's a lot easier putting it together than it was taking it apart. Ugh, okay. My hands are still dirty from last night. Oh, you know what it is? It's the bag. Touching the bag without the finish is really nasty. I really should wipe the bag down a little bit before I put the Resolene on, but the Resolene is gonna pack everything in, so I think I'm all right. Okay, that's not very good. Let's take this one. Okay, that looks nice and tight. Yep, and I should put these back on. I did manage to take these off, but I'll do that later on. So now what we're going to do is finish doing the Resolene, but maybe I should wipe this down a bit. She knows what
it's over. Yeah, you could have stayed, but it's over. Cause you're so jealous of me. Oh, you're so jealous of me.
Oh, you know, this brush is a little bit rough, so I think I'm going to switch it out for a dauber. My voice is low in the morning, isn't it? Ah, much better. Much gentler on the bag too, I think. So this Resolene is a very wet coat, very thin wet coat. So I used to be worried about the bubbles going in, but they kind of do go down and it's not really a problem, so. Hello, I'm back and I am ready now to reveal the final result of the bag. So here's the strap, which I probably won't use very often for the bag. It's got 2 coatings of dye and then 2 coatings of Resolene, so it did take a while to do. I just went in with some nail varnish remover and brightened up the parts that I painted over, but as you can see, it looks pretty good. You can't see because it won't focus. Come on, you little sucker. Focus. Just as long as I get my head out of there, it should focus well. Yeah, so it's a little gritty, a little shiny, and that is exactly what I expected it to turn out like because I did put Resolene on this product. Resolene is essential for this project because otherwise it's a very gritty, unfinished coloring that I've done, and the Resolene just seals it in, makes it waterproof, makes the texture right. The texture is different from the original bag. It's a lot stiffer than it was originally, but it looks great. Actually, it turned out fantastic, you guys. I mean, come on. It really, really worked, and no regrets. I was very finicky with the inside. Actually, I wasn't finicky enough, really. There's some staining. I'll show you up close in a little bit, but I did fudge up a few places, but I don't care. I mean, this bag was 15 bucks, so I think I just made it into a much more expensive looking bag by painting it black. I love it. And I put the, I shined up the metal here. I think you can see that right here, how much better it looks than before. I did manage to take these clips off. So fantastic. And this strap is something I bought on Amazon. It's kind of imitating the pochette, multi-pochette from Vuitton. It has that little clip on it, or Prada has this too. I kind of like that feature. And this strap I was worried about. I thought it was going to be too short, and it is too short, but because this is such a big bag, it works out just fine. It's perfect for it. So I'll probably be using this strap a lot. So yeah, what I did make one mistake in this bag. When I was on my first coat of Resolene, I was going in for a second and I dipped into the wrong bottle and I dyed it over on top of the Resolene, and I just went, ah, bugger. And I just forgot it ever happened, and it made it more saturated as a result. And then I just painted the Resolene coat once again, and it's dry and it's fine. I think I might even go over enough once more. What's good about having a gloss is that when you look at it, you can see the parts that you may have missed, because there is a shine to this, the Resolene, and there is absolutely no, it's a very matte dye that I use, so it's very easy to see what parts I've missed. Again, if you're doing a project like this, Resolene is important, but make sure you go over thin coats, because there is a stickiness that you'll get if the coats are on too thick. But there you go, guys. Very, very happy with this job. Let me show you a little bit of the inside, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, so as you can see here, I did slip up. I got some of the dye in here, and that was not the Resolene, but the dye. And I think eventually I will go in with some fabric dye and do the zipper. Everything else looks good though. I even dyed the tab at the end here. Oh, and it looks a bit dirty here too. So that's fine. But it is beige, and it's only me that's going to see this part anyway, but yeah. And the back side, obviously there's some leaking here. This is my purse organizer. And I did not, as I said, I would not go inside and dye the inside here. So that is how it looks. It's good enough for me. That's all I need. So the camera's still crooked, but that's all right. Okay, I'm gonna call it a day. Thanks for watching through to the end with me. And I guess I won't be having any bag videos for some time now. There is still one other I haven't shared with you, and there might be one more project, but for the most part moving forward, I think we're gonna be doing some frag reviews. So I hope to see you in my next video. Bag Hag and Frag Hag signing out. Bye-bye.